Hey guys, so today we are going to graph polynomial functions. So the first thing we have is our factored form of our polynomial. And step one is to find and plot the zeros. So since we have our factored form of our polynomial, we need to take each factor and set them equal to 0 and solve. So x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1. X equals -1. I plot that on my number line at -1. Then, x minus 1 equals 0. Add 1 to both sides. X is equal to 1. And I plot 1 on my number line. Then finally, x minus 2 is equal to 0. Add 2 to both sides. And x is equal to 2. So the three zeros that I have for this polynomial are -1, 1, and 2. Step 2 is called sign analysis. So what that means is you're going to test one value from each of the intervals. So when we graphed our zeros on our number line, it separated our number line into four intervals. We have our purple interval, we have our blue interval, green, and red. I just made them in different colors so they're easier to identify. So our first interval is from -infinity to -1. Our zeros do not count as test points, so we need to pick a test point inside of that interval. I picked -2 because it's easiest. We're going to take -2 and plug it into our original equation. So, -2 plus 1 times -2 minus 1 times -2 minus 2. So I'm getting -1 times -3 times -4. I have two negatives making a positive times a negative, so the sign of this answer is a negative. So the sign of this interval is negative. Then test 0. I'm plugging in 0 into my original equation. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0 minus -2 is -2. Negative times a negative is a positive times another positive, making our blue interval positive. Now we have an interval of between 1 and 2, so we need to pick a point in the middle, so I picked 1.5. Go and plug in 1.5. 1.5 plus 1 is positive. 1.5 minus 1 is positive. 1.5 minus 2 is negative. So now we have a positive times a negative, making this interval negative. And our last interval is from 2 to infinity, so I picked 3. 3 plus 1 is positive. 3 minus 1 is positive. And 3 minus 2 is positive. Now we have positive times positive, making my red interval positive. Okay, now we're going to graph our polynomial. So we have what we just made on our number line. Our purple interval was negative, our blue interval was positive, green was negative, and red was positive. The zeros that we found in step 1 are going to be the zeros on our graph. So we are going to go to the x-axis and make points at each zero. So -1, 1, and 2. Then the sign that is above each interval is telling us where we are going to have our graph, either below or above our x-axis. So we are going to start below our x-axis from negative infinity to negative 1, then above our x-axis from negative 1 to 1. At some point up there, between negative 1 and 1, we need to turn back around and go to 1, because then from 1 to 2, we are negative. Then from 2 to infinity, we are positive. So we have sketched the graph of our polynomial function.